Do you struggle with your head moving off the ball during the backswing, or hanging back on your back leg and struggling to get posted up into a proper position? If so, listen up, because it's probably one simple, easy, quick fix that you need to make a change in your golf swing that's going to prevent those common problems and get you into a much more powerful position at impact. And the simple change is, most golfers, myself included, I tend to creep into this, to have a stance that's too wide. When you have a stance that's too wide, the tendency is going to be all those things I just mentioned and much more. So let's talk about the backswing one first. When people take a stance that's too wide, so I've got a 5-iron here, and my stance is definitely too wide at this point for a 5-iron. One of the things that I'm going to tend to do as I go back is I want to load this right leg. I know that I want to feel this powerful loading into the right side so I can really load up my upper body and get everything ready to come in the downswing. But when I do this, in order to feel that, my head has to move off the ball. Now this is a proper load onto my right leg. I can feel my right glute activated, but look how much my head has to move off the ball as I do this. So now from here, I've got very little time and a long ways to go to get all the way back to my left side. So this problem compounds the other one, which is not being able to get back to the left. If you're struggling with your head moving off the ball and getting back to the left, all you need to do typically is just narrow up your stance to go back to what I talk about in the setup, 2 inches outside of neutral. And now as I load up, my right glute has the same amount of load that I felt earlier, but my head didn't move, and the move back to the left is just this. It's just a little tiny move that's way easier than when I'm standing like this. When I stand too wide, most people think that you're not going to be able to rotate. That's going to be the biggest common mistake. It's not true at all. I can take a ridiculously wide stance, still make a full turn. It's not a problem. It's not going to cause that issue. It's going to make it so that your head's going to move and you're going to tend to either hang back off your right leg and do this whole thing, or you're going to have a big lateral slide. And it's going to be very difficult to time, and you're going to tend, when you have a lot of lateral movement shallows out the golf swing, so that's going to tend to cause the club to come too far from the inside, and you're going to swing way into out. So the simple fix is always focus on the fundamentals. These little things that I talk about in the setup videos, the axis tilt, the proper grip, simple takeaway, all of those things, it's all about just making your golf swing easier and more repetitive. So when you stand with a narrower stance, and for most golfers it feels too narrow, if it feels too narrow and you lose your balance, take a look at the flagpole video, because all that means when you stand too wide is you're swinging too hard from the top with your upper body at the wrong time in the swing, and it's causing you too much leverage on your body and causing you to fall off balance. So a proper stance width is going to make it where you can make an easy shift to the right, an easy shift to the left, and stop struggling with your head moving off the place and your hips sliding too much in the downswing.